You're watching Channel 4, the vision of St. Louis. This is your news. News 4 at 5 o'clock.
About what was happening, and for the
Missouri Congressman Gephardt tearing up a notice of day 94 of the McDonnell-Douglas strike. He says this signifies the strike is over. Well, what it signifies is a tentative agreement. And word of this tentative agreement coming late this afternoon.
It also comes following intense around-the-clock talks in Washington, D.C. Both sides met in Congressman Dick Gephardt's office in Washington. The strike, as we saw, in its 94th day today. John Mills is joining us live from the Machinists Union in North St. Louis County with more on obviously a very developing story. John?
Mary, this could be the big break everyone has been waiting for. The congressman announcing just a short time ago a tentative agreement has been reached just in the last few minutes. The union also has made an announcement saying that they will stay on the picket lines until the full union votes on all of this. Let me bring in the union business agent, Rick Smith. You just made this announcement in the last few minutes.
Correct.
What did you tell everyone?
We just told them that we are waiting for this package to come down, that we heard from Jerry Olson, our director from D.C., and he is coming back late tonight with this proposal. We'll be getting with our bargaining committee to review what they came up with.
Now, the last time negotiators from St. Louis went to Washington, this is back in 1975, they came up with an agreement and the strike ended very quickly. Is that expected to happen now?
Again, we'll have to wait and see what is in the package. We'll have to see what's there.
So in the meantime, will people continue showing up for strike duty? Will they walk the picket lines all weekend?
Correct. They'll keep walking the picket line until the contract is voted on and ratified.
And when might that vote take place? Do we know it at this point?
We don't have a facility at this time. We hope as soon as possible, if in fact the proposal is satisfactory to the bargaining committee to take to the membership.
And with Jerry Olson and Mike Shane, the two top union negotiators, going to Washington for this, if they've agreed and they've made this tentative agreement, that really does make it look pretty good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It looks very positive for the members, and hopefully everything will pan out.
Okay, well, union business agent Rick Smith, thank you very much for joining us, making an announcement just a few minutes ago. Tentative agreement reached in Washington between McDonnell-Douglas and the striking Machinists Union. This is day 94 of the strike. News 4 sources are telling us tonight McDonnell-Douglas did give in on some job security issues. Our sources are also telling News 4 tonight that the union may have given in on some of the work rules. And our sources also say some of the people who do business with McDonnell-Douglas may not have been completely satisfied with the products they were receiving during the strike. That, again, according to News 4 sources. We'll have more reaction on this all coming up tonight at 6 and, of course, at 10 o'clock also. Back to you in the studio.
All right, John, thanks. Obviously, everyone guardedly optimistic at this time.
Yeah, and John mentioned, of course, that this was day 94. The 1975 strike went 93 days, so we set a new record by this strike date today. Obviously, it's not over, as the picket said. They're going to continue walking the line till they get it ratified. And we're hoping to hear from Congressman Gephardt and get some more specific details on what actually is inside that contract, because the contract, of course, has been over the dispute over job outsourcing and security. And Congressman Gephardt joining us now. Congressman Gephardt, I know you had to feel elated, the fact that you have a tentative agreement. Exactly what was the point that put it over the top?
Well, there's no one issue. What was kind of a misnomer in this thing from the outset was that there was one issue that was really making this not happen. There were a whole range of issues. You need to understand that after the Cold War, the whole defense industry is changing, and McDonnell-Douglas saw to be productive and competitive, they needed to make a lot of changes, and it was just getting people to sit at a table and understand that we had to do this for St. Louis, for Missouri, for the future, for the workers, and I'm really proud of all the people that worked at that table and got it done.
Well, Congressman, on some specifics, did the company give in on the fact of outsourcing and job security?
I can't give you details because the union officials need to go back and now sit down with the union membership and go over this. They have to ratify this before it happens, so we can't get into details, but suffice it to say that all the issues, and there was a whole range of issues, have been dealt with successfully, and progress, real substantial progress, was made over the last 36 hours.
Congressman, before they all left, obviously, did everyone seem ecstatic that they have finally come together on some kind of an agreement? And did everybody leave with smiles, or how does everybody feel?
I think there were lots of smiles. Obviously, at the end of anything like this, you all feel a little let down because it's a compromise. Nobody gets exactly everything they wanted, but everybody gave and everybody got. It was a honest, good faith negotiation. It was constructive. Nobody raised their voice or started yelling at one another, maybe a few times, but everybody hung in there and worked hard. And, you know, this is big deal for St. Louis and for Missouri. This company, as a result of this contract and its workers, can be more successful, more competitive, more profitable than it's ever been. And the goal everybody has is to bring more jobs and keep jobs in St. Louis.
All right, I have a couple of quick questions for you very quickly. One, can you at least tell us the full length of the contract? And secondly, there was talk that some of the buyers of McDonnell Douglas products were not happy with what they're seeing come through the plant during the strike, and how much did that jeopardize the situation?
I can't give you the term. That's something that, again, is in the contract and is important, and the people there need to know about it first. And I don't know of those rumors. I can tell you the federal government takes very careful pains to make sure the products are good. All the inspections were heightened, and I don't think anything would be let out the door that wasn't safe.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking time to be with us, Congressman Gephardt, and obviously we'll have more details coming up. Thank you again, Congressman. I know everyone in the Missouri area is glad to hear that news come through.
Good to see you. And finally, it at least came together in Congressman's Washington office, so that's great. Thanks, Congressman Gephardt.
There is other news, of course. The other big story, Hurricane Fran. The storm is now a tropical depression. It could be Sunday or later before many residents and vacationers can return to the Carolina coast.
President Clinton has declared much of that region a major disaster area. Here are the facts on Hurricane Fran as we stand now. The storm killed 12, all of the deaths in North and South Carolina. Most of the accidents were the result of high winds knocking trees onto the victims. There is extensive damage throughout the Carolinas and Virginia. Beachfront homes and boats are destroyed, many communities flooded, and forecasters have downgraded Fran to a tropical depression at this hour. She is continuing, however, to move up the eastern seaboard. Now, some of the worst damage Fran left behind is in the resort community of Carolina Beach, North Carolina. Aerials give us a real good look at the damage here. You can see the storm picked up boats, tossing them across the water, piling them up on shore, destroyed several houses and condominiums, ripping them apart as if they were built with toothpicks. The business district is underwater, as you can see. Even the fire department had to move to higher ground. In Wilmington, North Carolina, residents who weathered Hurricanes Fran and Bertha say that this one caused more damage.
There's a lot of trees. Where Bertha was a lot of just limbs and debris. We just have, we have woods behind our house. There must be about 15 or 20 trees down behind the woods, so there's a lot more damage.
Here, boats and their docks heavily damaged, the storm tossing large boats around like they were small toys. You could find many residents surveying the damage today.
Further inland, flooding is a major problem. Raleigh, North Carolina, well, here's where residents woke up to knee-high water in many parts. Vans submerged in the waters, as you can see. Many streets, well, they look more like swimming pools or small rivers. Flooding also a problem in Virginia. As the storm moved north, it dumped several inches of rain, washing out roads, such as this one in Madison County, Virginia. State troopers closed many roads and some freeways in southern Virginia. Residents in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, well, they're thankful Fran didn't do more damage. At one point, forecasters had predicted the storm would hit this popular tourist attraction, giving it a direct hit. So it went north. We do have some damage reported in Myrtle Beach, but Fran basically uprooting trees, leaving some streets flooded. It's not enough to close down this vacation hotspot, so most businesses are already reopened. That in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So far, Hurricane Fran has had a minimal effect on flights out of Lambert this afternoon. TWA did cancel one flight to the East Coast today. 4 flights canceled yesterday. United Airlines and U.S. Air say they don't have any delays from St. Louis today to that hurricane-affected region. Still, you should contact your airline before heading out to Lambert, just in case.
Meanwhile, there will be new delays at Lambert Airport beginning on Monday. The baggage arrival area outside the lower level of the airport will be closed for 2 months to make repairs. Airport officials will be resurfacing the street in that area. Signs will be posted to direct drivers to the temporary baggage arrival area, which will be on the roof of the short-term parking garage.
President Clinton will be in St. Louis Tuesday for a fundraiser. He will be speaking at a Sydney magnet school. The presidential visit has school and security officials scrambling. Now, Mike O'Connell reports the president picked the Gateway magnet schools because of their advanced science and technology curriculum.
Things are different at Gateway School. True, this is not a conventional place.
I think that our school is really special.
But all this extra activity is because the president is coming. They're putting in new phone lines, sprucing up the landscaping.
It's been hectic. It's been hectic, but it's a good kind of hectic.
So why was the Gateway School Complex, 3 science, math, and technology schools in North St. Louis, why was it chosen?
Nothing compares to this school. All its projects and experience and work we do, that doesn't compare to this.
Not only does Gateway have a computer in every classroom, there are 2 computer labs in the elementary school. There's a weather center with a computer, a greenhouse.
We have a science area in every classroom with a sink and cabinetry, and the kids come out here to the pond. They get a water sample. They have microscopes in their room.
We're not like a regular school. We work in groups and hands-on activities.
Does that help you learn more?
Yes, makes learning funner.
When students are just sitting, using a pencil all day long and not engaged, they take in information and it quickly leaves.
This courtyard is designed for science experiments and informal learning. Students seem genuinely excited about learning.
I like the math club and the computer club.
The president will get an education on education, and the kids?
I think it's going to be a great experience because we get to meet kind of like I consider the boss of the United States.
President Clinton is expected to speak at the Gateway Magnet Schools at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. That is long after school lets out, but the students will stick around for the campaign rally. The public, too, is invited, but you do need a ticket. They are available still through the Clinton-Gore campaign. After the president's speech, he will appear at a campaign fundraiser at the Hyatt Hotel in Union Station. Larry?
All right, thank you, Mike. And of course, we thought the president's visit might be canceled because of the Iraqi situation, but that's cooled down now, so he's still on schedule to be here Tuesday.
All right, should be an exciting experience for those kids. The weekend is finally here. What can we expect from the weather?
Corey's standing by in the Weather Center. Corey?
Well, we do have a cool front coming our way. We'll talk about what that might have in store for our weekend coming up.
Would you believe she's on her 3rd set of lungs? I'm News 4 health reporter Al Wyman. Coming up next, we're going to tell you Megan's remarkable story, only on your news, News 4.
Larry Connors, Mary Phelan, meteorologist Trish Brown, and sports with Steve Savard. This is your news. News 4 at 5 o'clock.
It is unusual for a child to get a lung transplant.
Medical reporter Al Wyman knows a child who has had 2 lung transplants. Al first reported on the story 2.5 years ago.
Well, she spent 8 months in a hospital here. Her parents had already lost their first child to a genetic lung defect. When their second baby had the same problem, they knew her only chance for life was a lung transplant.
She was so sick and she had never breathed on her own, so she was ventilated all that time, and she had a hard time coming off the ventilator and a series of problems, and then she got sick again and had to be retransplanted.
Megan Craig is 2.5 years old now, full of energy, full of life.
I asked the doctors, you still got to play day by day? Well, when does it ease? It never does, even in a normal kid.
She spent most of her first few months of life in the newborn intensive care unit of St. Louis Children's Hospital, right next door to Autumn Waldron, who ironically was also from the same area outside Tampa, Florida, where Megan's parents live. Both received lung transplants, the only way to save both babies' lives. But complications led to a second lung transplant for Megan.
But she's doing good, and that's all I care right now.
You don't ever stop worrying, though, do you?
Never. Never let my guard down. Never. Not for one day.
Her parents bring Megan to St. Louis Children's Hospital every 6 months for a checkup. This one, she passed with flying colors.
It continues to be a great encouragement to us and a virtual miracle, considering how sick she was and how many unanswered questions there were at the very beginning.
I mean, I just have to try to not keep her in a bubble, but yet keep her from being exposed to germs. I mean, be selective as to what time of day I go out and where I go and this and that.
Everything's there, except for speech, and that's next. It's my little cave girl there.
The Craigs are thankful, cautious, and worried. Any serious childhood illness like chickenpox could possibly undo the miracle of those life-saving transplants. So as her dad puts it, we just lay low and love her as much as we can.
What were they saying about her speech?
She had a trach in so long that it's delayed her speech, but they're working on that now.
Oh, that's a terrific story.
Maybe next time she gets up here, we can have her talk for you.
I'd
That'd
love
be
to
great.
hear that. Love to hear her talk. Thanks, Al.
Thanks, Al.
Great story. St. Louis Washington University is moving up 3 spots in the U.S. News and World Report annual ranking of the nation's best schools. The school now ranking 17th on the list. The top 5, Yale University, Princeton, Harvard, Duke, and MIT. Coming up on News 4 at 6 o'clock, we're going to visit the WashU campus and find out why that school is so deserving of that ranking.
Well, Corey Barron is coming up next with the weather.
He's going to let us know how the weekend is shaping up. Plus, you're going to see how one church is plugging into a recent fad to get its congregation singing. We'll explain. Stay with us.
This is Jamie Ullman. A Gulf War veteran says he has more reason to distrust his government. I'll have his story in tonight's Ullman Report, coming up on News 4 at 6.
My president.
That's coming up at 6 right now. Corey Barron is here. A few thunderstorms popping up out there.
Yeah, and part of the reason that we're getting these is Fran. We have a little more moisture in the area, just enough lift that storms are just kind of popping up everywhere. Take a look at the Doppler radar, and you'll see they just kind of polka dot our region from around Hillsborough and Litchfield and Montgomery County, Illinois, to right around Union and then Dittmer in Jefferson County and down in St. Genevieve County. They're just popping up and raining themselves out, and we won't see much of this in about an hour. Now, as we take a look what we've had so far today as far as our air quality, some of those thunderstorms helped us out by mixing up the air. 67 and green today. We're looking for green tomorrow as well. And if you're having problems with sniffling and swelling eyes, mold went way up to 6,000 in the mold count, and ragweed pretty high as well at 260. Take a look outside downtown right now. We have a few clouds floating around, that hazy sunshine. Had one thunderstorm for a while that had some thunder and lightning right around the airport at Lambert, but all of that has fallen apart. Our high today, 87. 66 is where we started the day, and it's been dry over most of the area, but again, spotty thunderstorms out there. 83 right now. It cooled off because of the thunder showers. Northeast wind at 9 and 61% humidity. Couple of things to look for here. This is the outer edge of Fran, what is left of Fran, and then you'll see all the clouds bubble up around here. We had just enough cool air up above us to see these thunderstorms pop in this region, and then you look off to our northwest. This is the cool front that is coming in possibly by Sunday and could bring us a few thunder showers. They're getting those out in the plains right now. Now, the rains that we have around here this evening, like I say, will quickly die down, and most of that cool air will be sliding to our south. Then we'll be waiting for the cool front to come in, and it's pretty weak, and there's not a lot of lift with it, but it may bring us another chance at maybe some thunder showers sometime on Sunday. As for today, as you head to bed tonight, all those storms will disappear. 76 degrees. When you wake up tomorrow morning, again, kind of foggy and hazy, 68. 83 by lunchtime. Tomorrow afternoon, maybe a few isolated storms, but probably not as many as what we had this afternoon. And then that cool front comes through on Sunday, maybe a few more thunderstorms, but again, those will probably be pretty scattered. 83 on Monday, drier air filtering in by Tuesday and Wednesday, and it looks like some pretty nice weather coming our way. All in all, the next 5 days don't look too bad at all, but we do have a shot at rain coming to us by Sunday at least.
We could use a little rain.
Oh, no doubt, yeah.
Thanks, Corey. Doug Vaughn is coming up next with the latest in sports.
Yeah, we'd like the rain to hold off at least as the senior tour completes its stay here in St. Louis. An up and down day for a couple of the local golfers. Doug has highlights coming up. Welcome back to sports. Here's Doug.
A lot of rain up there in New York where they're trying to play some tennis. If you expected to be watching U.S. Open tennis right now, you're probably disappointed to see my face. But then this face has been disappointing people for many, many years. It's a whole other story. Let's not even get into it. The women's semifinal match between Steffi Graf and Martina Hingis has been delayed by rain, with Hingis leading 1-0 in the first set. Monica Seles was able to get in her match earlier despite some heavy wind. The weather caused Monica to make 32 unforced errors in her semifinal match with Conchita Martinez. But Monica in the far court, great shot there for a winner. She takes it 6-4, 6-3. She'll meet Graf or Hingis in the finals, while Martinez will be meeting with Dr. Scholl about that little blister problem on her foot. CBS will air a complete wrap-up of today's activities at the U.S. Open tonight after David Letterman. Play is suspended right now because of lightning at the Seniors Boone Valley Classic in Augusta. This is Vicente Fernandez before the weather with a great approach shot, put him in range for an easy birdie. He shot a course record 66 today. He is 6 strokes under par. Tom Wargo of Centralia is among those in hot pursuit. Wargo with a nice putt here at 18 to save par. He's at 4 under. Charles Cootie is 5 under par. Another of the local favorites, Hale Irwin, had some problems with that bunker, and Hale was not very happy about it. Irwin is 1 under par. Still, a few players have not yet finished their rounds today. The Rams are listed as 12.5-point underdogs in their game Sunday at San Francisco, and they'll be doing pretty good to keep it that close if Steve Walsh has another game like the one he had Sunday against the Bengals. The Rams quarterback says he didn't need the boos to tell him he was playing poorly. He knew it and knows that he's got to step it up against the 49ers.
I'm capable of playing better, so you know, especially when you play a team like this that you know, you have to put points on the board if you're going to win the ball game. You know, obviously there's more pressure.
Walsh is probably one guy who feels more pressure at home than on the road, but then I guess if you shell out $5,000 for a PSL, you can just boo anybody you'd like to boo. You paid for that right.
Well, he didn't get a lot of protection. That better help a little bit, too.
The offensive line needs to step it up.
All right, thanks, Doug.
Finally, Sunday service at a 700-year-old church in England is going high-tech.
Now, the parishioners are singing the praises of the karaoke machine. Holy Trinity Church in West Sussex installed this digital machine. The church was unable to find a regular organist to accompany the congregation singing hymns, so this machine offers more than 3,000 hymns just at the touch of a button. And the church members say they're impressed with how well they sound and agree the karaoke machine is the answer to a prayer. How about that? High technology, same old Rock of Ages.
Don't we sound great with this karaoke machine? Oh, my goodness. All right. That's going to do it for us now. Thanks for being with us. Stay tuned for the CBS Evening News, and we'll see you again at 6.
Yes, the latest on the McDonnell-Douglas tentative agreement right here at 6 o'clock on your news. News 4.
It should be a pleasant evening. Temperatures hanging in the 70s.